Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Season 7 of Stand Up and Stand Out. Párate y desdécate. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Nikki Green. As a life and business resiliency expert, I thought we would share some stories of resilience this season. It's also the 1-year anniversary of Chameleon Mindset, my best-selling book, and we are giving away a bunch of great prizes and deep discounts on my coaching programs to celebrate. Be sure to check the show notes of each episode to learn more and follow me on social media. I hope you're enjoying Season 7, and I look forward to hearing your feedback and comments on the fascinating topics we're going to cover with each guest. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 7 of Stand Up and Stand Out. Párate y desdécate. Today we have Matt Simpson joining us. He's an empowerment coach and microdose mentor who guides disenchanted high achievers back to the path of passion and possibility. He believes the future of medicine is psychedelic. It's estimated that a third of C-level Silicon Valley executives are microdosing to boost cognition and creativity. Having worked in Silicon Valley, I can guarantee that fact. He helps his clients integrate the holistic health practices of meditation, mindfulness, journaling, movement, and breathwork so they can show up as their integrated best selves to make the positive impact they are here to make. The journey within is not for the faint of heart, but the rewards are infinite. It's worth the fight. Hi, Matt. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, Nikki. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Just want to say it was really fun meeting you at the Tony P's networking event the other night. That panel was fantastic, continuing to connect with some of the other members. But did you enjoy the event as well?
I most certainly did. Yeah, I was blown away by the other panelists and the energy in the room and just a lot of positivity and different ways for cultivating mind, body, spirit harmony and delivering the work that we're here to do.
Well, you do so many things, but maybe let's take a little bit of a step back and talk about, how you got here on this journey that you're on today, to share people a little bit of your background.
Yeah, thank you for that. It was my 35th birthday, October 16th, 2014. I just sold a business in Chicago. I was working in the Loop and had a business for 7 or 8 years. We sold to a national outfit, and they, there was a promise of all this, career trajectory and increased responsibility and shares in the new company. All these wonderful aspects for big potential money, and all I could think about was this path that I'm on right now, this path of service. And 2 months later, I was down in the jungles of Costa Rica having a profound, heart-opening healing with the plant medicine ayahuasca that empowered me to move through the childhood sexual trauma that was at the root of my dis-ease, my malaise, my apathy, my disconnection, and my drinking. I used to drink a lot and pop pills this was a profound experience that allowed me again to get to the roots, to heal, to let go, and ultimately to see why I'm here. And to see how disenchanted I was and a way out of the mess that I'd created.
I love that. Having just gotten back from Costa Rica, I can definitely relate that it's a very transformative place. And there's a reason why it's one of the blue zones where I think people, live a lot longer. It's very restorative, and it is nice to get off the grid and really reboot yourself from time to time. And very different from being here in Chicago, that's for sure. So talk a little bit about kind of what you're doing now to help people. I think it's really important. What I say a lot of times from my time in corporate is there's a lot of, little kids, bullies running around in these corporate rooms that haven't healed their own trauma. And all they're doing is kind of re-traumatizing the people around them and not really maturing. And I think the work that you're doing is helpful for employees and for leaders to really find that next level within themselves in a more healthy space.
Indeed. Beautifully said. Hurt people. And, I was projecting my traumas. I was probably one of those people, albeit maybe more polite than the next guy. The opportunity to heal, to look within, to clear those energetic blockages, has paved way for a path of service. I've been advocating for our United States war veterans since 2017 to get healing with plant medicines. I wrote a book called Worth the Fight, Acting for a Better World, A Guide to Spirituality, Psychedelic Medicines, and Overcoming Trauma. I'm also a podcaster, Worth the Fight podcast. We've got 101 episodes where I'm interviewing thought leaders in the psychedelic space, health and wellness, spirituality, et cetera. And I'm a microdose mentor. So I've been guiding people to the path of passion and possibility with this misunderstood strategy for health and well-being. Like you'd said in the intro, it's thought that a third of our C-level Silicon Valley executives are microdosing to boost cognition and creativity. I believe, again, that this is the future of medicine and it's the next level. And it's a way that we can, again, kind of clear the energetic blockages, see why we're here, to be more clear, more intentional on the work that we're here to do. I think that all 8 billion of us have a dharma, have a calling, have a reason why we're here. And maybe never before do we have so many people cut off from that. So these medicines can be very helpful. Of course, it's not just not a magic pill. It's just that this medicine boosts neuroplasticity, which is our brain and our nervous system's ability to change to internal and external conditions. And there's a wonderful opportunity for us to deepen into these integration practices of meditation, which there's thousands of scientific papers that say that meditation can increase focus and reduce stress. Contemplative journaling, know yourself, bravely putting pen to paper and working through and envisioning and mapping out and using this as a tool, breathwork, mindfulness, getting out in nature, having work-life balance, healthy boundaries with tech. I mean, the list goes on and on.
It's really important, all the layers. And I think, the more we kind of look back in history, the more we know that these drugs got vilified for the wrong reasons, and there's a couple of good documentaries out that I've been watching. Maybe we'll share some in the notes, but just to continue to educate ourselves, we kind of went and like, drugs are bad, but then the drugs that are good are the ones, that the pharmaceutical companies give us. And all of a sudden it's like, no, but those drugs are okay. And then there's other documentaries saying, things that we've pushed on people when they didn't really need them and that they weren't actually solving the problems of depression and anxiety and some of the things they were having. They were only masking them. And so I really love that we're trying to get people to open up and to really heal those traumas, not just mask them and push them down so they can keep going out and being more productive. Productivity can mean a lot of things, and it doesn't mean sitting in front of the screen all the time checking email, right? So I love this new future you're painting for us.
Yeah. Thank you. Great point about the pharmaceutical companies really haven't done anything for our collective mental health since the 90s, and we got Prozac. And really, it's a little bit better than the placebo. That's argued that it is. Not sure about that. And, and we've also got the opioid crisis where 100,000 people, last I checked, 100,000 people die per year to the opioid crisis, and the deaths of despair. Pharma has set our country on fire, and they've opened up this door for us to walk through. The lies from yesteryear, the 60s and 70s. This was politicized, and something that we're seeing through there. And now we're leading with peer-reviewed scientific data. Johns Hopkins, NYU, Harvard, Stanford. Most of the prestigious institutions on earth are studying these compounds. And the FDA is weighing right now the data that was just submitted by MAPS, the Multidisciplinary Association of Psychedelic Studies, just submitted their phase 3 clinical data, or their NDA actually, saying, hey, we have a cure for post-traumatic stress disorder. And we're going to be finding out about that in August. And that is very, very likely to be the gold standard for, and we're going to be moving away from this pill-a-day model that we've been fed and led to believe is part or universal to the human condition. It's going to be more of a curative approach.
I love that. That's so fantastic to hear, especially having a family of veterans. My grandfather was 20 years in the Navy. My father was in the Marines in Vietnam, and my boyfriend is 20-year veteran of the Navy as well. And, just seeing the trauma and them coming back and still trying to heal years and years and years later. And I remember sitting down with my grandmother, and she was kind of saying, well, PTSD isn't a thing. And then I kind of joked with her. I said, yeah, but did you ever notice that grandpa drank a lot? And I was like, oh, well, that was just to unwind, and so we've kind of made these excuses as to how people were coping with things that weren't actually healing for them. So I think opening up our minds of new ways to heal them and hopefully getting the medical community on board, I think is so helpful, because if insurance doesn't cover a lot of these treatments, then, most people won't be able to achieve them.
Indeed. And to your point, just a few days ago, I got a forward in the Wall Street Journal. There was an ad about moms in New York City that are microdosing instead of drinking wine now. They don't want they're trading in the hangovers for feeling good and that afterglow that we get on day 2 of a microdose. And the alcohol is being reframed right now too. I think largely because of Dr. Andrew Huberman bravely put out a podcast, which was I think the most shared podcast of 2021, where he spent 2 hours and 10 minutes talking about the alcohol as a highly carcinogenic neurotoxin. It's like, all right, and if we're gonna, and I still do have a glass of wine or two a week, and it's a nice thing to do, and it's a nice social lubricant, but we need to be mindful and need to be aware of the benefits and the risks associated with all medicines. And alcohol comes from grapes. It's a plant medicine to a degree as well.
Yeah. Well, and I had surgery in 2015, and they gave me opioids, like many people did. And I couldn't take a lot of other medications. I had allergic reactions, but it was also just the way pharma pushes those things. And at the same time, I had a bunch of trauma things happen at work, and so when I went back into the office, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle basic things that were really easy. And I wasn't even really taking the medication anymore, but because of that lingering effect that it had, it was really devastating. And it wasn't again until I read some recent research on, some of that behind the covers that they're finally showing us is what damage some of these other things are really doing to us. So I think really moving us forward in some of this is important to get us off of the things we've been told were good for us and the things we were told were bad for us, which may actually be good, right?
Yeah. Kudos to you for moving through that. I know that a lot of people have struggled with that, and there's a lot of people that aren't here with us because those medicines are so powerful and they're so gripping. I just finished watching this Netflix or Hulu series, Dope Sick with Michael Keaton, and it was just profound to see, and it's fact based, just how Purdue Pharma, the egregiousness and the greed and profits over people, and they didn't care at all, and it came back to bite them. They're gone now, but the Purdue, the Sackler family, they're still running around with billions of dollars while there's all these deaths to the opioid crisis.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about like your work and how you work with people and how you can help them, and what might be your kind of ideal client.
Yes. Thank you. The microdose mentorship program that I have, the Magic and Microdosing Mentorship Program, is a 10-week program that I work with, again, disenchanted high achievers that are looking to get back to the path of passion and possibility. We set really bold intentions on the front end. Why are we engaging arguably the most powerful medicine on earth? What do we hope to accomplish? What are we seeking to co-create with the sacred medicine? And then we get to work. I'm an empowerment coach, so we have 60-minute sessions, and I'm helping my clients to work through their limiting beliefs. This medicine's very, very powerful. It does bring. I so often hear from my clients that they can struggle better, that they can do the hard thing. And of course, if we're seeking to live a life with more passion, more vibrancy, and deeper connections, and more abundance, sometimes we have to do the hard thing to get out of our own way. And but this medicine allows us to, again, to push through our obstacles safely, and we feel safe to do that. They go from the back burner to the front burner, and we can lean into them. And then again, working with the journaling and moving our bodies and the breath work and the meditation, that we can start to process whatever's blocking us from our divine creativity and authenticity and reason why we're here, and ultimately so we can share our gift at our fullest capacity.
It's so amazing to hear. And, most of the people that come to me at this point, it's about 90% are either have been laid off from high performing jobs or are underemployed at where they're at. 90%. It's really devastating, the amount of people that I see right now that are just so disillusioned with, what their career has become. And I think our corporate structure in many ways has failed us. And, we've let too many people run around, like we said, kind of just re-traumatizing and not really healing. And so I'm really hoping to continue to encourage more people to come back and lead from empathy and lead from a different space where they're not just healing themselves, but trying to help heal those around us. So I really love the work that you do. And I know there's probably lots of people that you meet every day that, are going to be ideal candidates.
Beautiful, beautiful conscious message that you have here. And I applaud you for taking a stand and for calling BS on what I affectionately call bullshit incorporated. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with the way that we do business. I felt it. I'm very sensitive. I felt it back in 2015. And the more that I followed our societal definitions of success, the sicker I became. And it was really, it was a big problem. It was a, I don't want to drop an F-bomb here, but it was a mind F, and really was like, geez, this isn't fair. I'm following all the rules. I'm obedient to our society's, directives. And when I stepped outside the pale and listened to my intuition and really trusted what was inside as opposed to what I was told, that's when I came alive. And it was the most eerie thing that stepping outside the pale and going to Costa Rica and having this heart opening experience and able to heal and see forward this path that I'm on right now, how I can ultimately share, and serve others.
And I think more of us are trying to do exactly that. I was working on an article about why are kind of like the two biggest fears of people, like public speaking and, teaching, now like the thing that people want to be when they grow up. And it's like, I think we've put a lot of fears on people that probably weren't actually there, that we've told people that's how they should have been. And you just be quiet, sit in your seat, do as you're told, right? Follow instructions. And maybe that's great when you're putting together widgets on a construction line, on an assembly line. But what we do now in most of our jobs, it's creative, it's problem solving, it's trying to get to something different than we've done before, to innovate. And you can't do that when you box people into such a confined way. And so I think that there's going to be more and more ways that we can use some of the work that you do to continue to open people's minds to solve these complex problems. Because pretty soon, AI is going to be great. There's going to be a lot of menial tasks that it's going to take care of. But the creative part, the part that we really put the ingenuity into, the thing that has never been done before, has to come from us. And so unlocking that, I think, is really critical for our future.
100%. Absolutely. And our bodies are infinitely wise. Yeah, AI is bringing a lot to the table. But there's an essence, a soulfulness that we have, and that I don't think that they're going to be able to replicate. And it's something that's needed right now. We're in a mental health crisis, suicide epidemic. We have a meta crisis. The state of our politics is dire. The environmental crisis, the climate crisis, social injustice, the list goes on and on. We need people tapping to looking within to do the work that they're here to do and to lead and to do it consciously if we're going to slow down this fear train and possibly even turn it around.
And you mentioned politics, and with the election this year, I know everyone's already getting a little hot under the collar. So what are maybe some steps that you can recommend to people so that they can stay calm and focused on the issues at hand, instead of some of the drama that may be playing out?
I think that it's really important to have a philosophy for tech. Like, what's our code? 4 years ago, during that last election season, I really struggled with this. I was on social media getting in all these arguments, and I love an honest discussion and debate, but that's not the place to necessarily do that. And I was leaking energy, I was burning out, and then I watched The Social Dilemma, and I was like, whoa, okay, I see it now. And since read Dr. Cal Newport's book, Digital Minimalism, he's a tenured professor at Georgetown University, an MIT grad, who's got a code for operating in the digital world, but also living a balanced, healthy, productive life where the every whim of big tech is not hooking us. So essentially we can eat the nourishing bait of technology. Geez, we're here having this wonderful conversation. We're reaching people and getting this message out, but without taking the bait or without taking the hook, that gripping hook. And so doing that consciously, that's something that comes to mind that can be very, very helpful. For me, I've befriended the last 7-8 years airplane mode, and there's a time and place to be online and to be reachable. And I have systems and processes set up.
I think it's so important for us to really be able to take that detachment. It's important for us to have discussion and dialogue about these important issues that are coming up. But I think taking apart some of the actors maybe is where we get convoluted. And it's important that we solve some of these things. And this is exactly why I left tech. I saw what was happening. I saw that they could be making better decisions. They could be making more positive outcomes in our, in our lives with the technology that they have and the power, but they chose not to. And I really just don't believe the research that we have to go negative in order to bring people in. You can find a better way. And we've done it before as human beings. We can definitely, make that even bigger with technology. So I love that. I hope you continue this work. It's been amazing talking to you, and I hope we continue to collaborate now that we're neighbors here in the Chicago area, and see you at another Tony P's event. If people are looking to get a hold of you, Matt, where can they find more out about you and your program?
Yes, thank you. They can reach out to me via email, matt@nltrans.org, or check out my website, worththefightbook.org. And I'm on Instagram @worththefightbook. I want to invite and extend to all of your listeners. They can, again, reach out for a free 30-minute fostering flow empowerment session where we can shine light on the wondrous possibility on the path ahead, and possibly some obstacles that they might be struggling with, or some challenges.
Oh, that's wonderful, Matt. Thank you for your generosity. We'll drop all that information in the show notes so you guys can grab it. It's been wonderful having Matt on. I was so privileged to meet him on the panel the other day at the event. And who knows who's going to be the next guest. So stay tuned for the next episode of Stand Up and Stand Out. If you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe, like, follow, comment, whatever it is on the platform you're on. And we will catch you on the next episode. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Nikki.